I don't know if you guys have heard, there's this little game on Sunday called the NFC Championship game. The 49ers, the Eagles, Jason Aponte and I, we're going to talk about a new Sprint Ride Option podcast starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option podcast. We are live. It's a new episode of the Sprint Ride Option podcast. I am Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by my beautiful host. He's a little closer to the camera, so put the 3D glasses on. It's like he's coming at you. It is Jason Aponte. Jason, you have any fun plans Sunday around 3 o'clock your time, noon my time? Anything fun going on?
Probably not. I mean, I'll probably just be sitting in front of a television, quiet like this. Like with hands over my face, not saying anything. But yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily what people would deem exciting.
I could watch you sit and do nothing for several hours, honestly. I mean, you and I, we sit and talk at each other for a while. So I guess it's something we do for a living. We just sit and look at each other. That's what we do most of the time. Man, oh man, we're back. We're back. Fazil, yeah, exactly. Like and subscribe. Everybody, literally everybody here and near the end of the episode. When everybody's here, everybody like it. We would enjoy that. We're back, Jason. We're talking about an NFC championship game once again. We talked a little last year about one. This year, we're talking a little bit more about another one. Mm-hmm. The Niners head to Philadelphia to Lincoln Financial Field to take on the number 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles. And Jason, this is I'm just going to go out and say this is probably the toughest team the Niners are going to have to face this year, period. I don't think it matters who they play in the Super Bowl if they do get that far. I think this is the toughest team the 49ers are going to have to play all season.
And I don't think you're really going out on a limb. I mean, at this point, there's only 4 teams left. And, you know, everyone kind of wants to make this grand proclamation that whoever wins this game will win the Super Bowl. Well, you've got a 50-50 chance of that being true, like 100% 50-50 chance of that being true. So I do want to kind of go back, take a little bit of a victory lap because of an article that I wrote on Niners Nation. A lot of people weren't exactly thrilled with what I had to say. And the question was, would this season be a failure without an NFC championship appearance? And I said it would be. And it has nothing to do with how this team performs. It's more about who was left in the NFC. Who was left? I'm not scared of Tampa Bay, Seattle, Dallas, the Giants, the Vikings. It was always going to be the 1 and 2 seed, Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers. Having said that, if the 49ers, by the way, I'm picking the 49ers to win this game. Let's fucking go. Also, by the way, I'm tired of being humble. And I'm tired of being humble, and I'm tired of, I'm going to give the Eagles a ton of respect, and I do realize what's in front of them. But if the 49ers find a way to not get this done, in no way will I hang my head. In no way will I look at this season as a disappointment in any way. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but I also wrote today on Niners Nation the same exact thing, that being here in this game makes the season not a disappointment. Now, I'm tired of hearing about house money. It's house money. No, now it's house money. Now it's time to get greedy because, Andrew Pasquini, I don't know if you know, but the 49ers shouldn't even show up to this game. The 49ers shouldn't come play. They shouldn't show up. They shouldn't even get to the stadium because they have no chance if you listen to people. Yeah. They have no chance. And you know what I like about that? I like that. I like that a lot. I do. Yeah. You know, nothing in this world gets me going more than saying I told you so or shut the fuck up or just using
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, like nobody knew. So this game is right up my alley right now for the San Francisco 49ers, man. I love everything that's lining up for this team. Right now, it is purely house money. Wow. Great Fox.
Fox. We love you.
Wow.
We love you.
Wow.
Thank you for the donation.
Wow. Generous donation. Incredible, man. You didn't have to do this. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We have to read this now. Yeah. I think Shanahan should channel Bill Walsh before the Dolphins Super Bowl by just lying on the locker room floor and go, hey, they have such a great offense. Oh, my God. How are we going to stop them? Oh, geez, in their defense. How are we going to be able to get first down or even a yard? Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm going to leave this up for a bit. You deserve to have this up for
Yeah,
a while.
We appreciate you, Gray Fox. Day one, we love you. That means the world to us. Thank you.
And I
much.
100% agree with this. Why should the 49ers even go? Like, if you're a 49er fan, why are you going to this game? You have no chance, right? Like that's it. Like, nobody, you have no shot. No one's giving you a chance. I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment. Now we're playing with house money. Now let's get greedy.
Yeah.
Let's win 2 more, and let's lock in this 30 for 30 that they will make about the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, and it's just so funny to me because it does feel like a lot of people think the Eagles are going to win this game. And I don't question it because the Eagles are very good. And I think this is one of the very rare seasons that the 4 best teams in the NFL are in the Final Four. And I really want to reiterate what Jason said, because I've been at a place with this game all week. And it's something I've told people that, barring like a weird referee thing costing a team this game, which I really hope doesn't happen, Jason, because I like football without my referees interrupting and then changing things.
Oh, wait a minute, Angelo. Bill Vinovich was calling the NFC divisional game, and 49er fans were supposed to be last week.
Yeah, something about Vegas saying something or whatever. Yeah, but I'm just at a point where I sternly believe that whoever wins this game is the better team. And I just think that's what it is. These two teams are so tight to each other. It felt like that, obviously the Niners had the 3-4 start. The Eagles started out undefeated. What, they go 10, 11-0 or something like that. But once the Niners got on their run, 1 game, 2 game, 3 game, all the way up to 10, now they're 12 now, Jason Aponte, is that I just lost my train of thought. The live podcast, we love it. Oh yeah, exactly. I found it. We got it back. We're good, Jason Aponte. Is that this feels like this was the game that it was always going to be. The NFC Championship was always going to be this. I'm so excited for this game. I personally am. I'm just excited for this game, and whether the Niners win or not, I don't know what it. Listen. I'm gonna be honest. What's SDS? I don't know what is SDS.
Sourdough Squad. I don't know what's going on. What did Brad do? Where are we right now? Are you guys just like
okay? SDS sourdough. Okay. I
Sourdough Squad.
I just saw chat just keep going and going. I was
they're cooking. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening right now. I mean, unless my boy popped in, unless my boy's here talking. Let me see. Let me look through the chat.
That's why I lost my train of thought. For the audio listeners, everybody in the chat saying SDS squad, SDS raid. I don't know what any of it means. I got sidetracked, but no, I'm so excited for this game, Jason. I'll leave with that.
So what happened was, all right. So this is what happened. Brad finished his stream, and realized that we were going live, and implored everyone who was watching his stream to come on over to our stream. Let me tell you something. If you thought I loved Brad Graham before that. That love affair just continues now at this point.
Well, if Brad just throwing this out there, live podcast, Jason Aponte, if Brad just ended, do you think he's near his computer? Maybe we drop a link and see if maybe we.
Well, all right. I mean, we're in a group chat with Brad. Brad's a very hard man to get, nailed down. Hey, look, you know what? It's NFC title game. It's time to talk about this team. If Brad Graham is so inclined, guys. If Brad Graham is so inclined to join, and I'm gonna let Andrew Pasquini cook, and I'm gonna get on the phone and see if I can make this happen. Would you guys like to see him join the Sprint Right Option podcast to talk this game?
Let's see. I think the people would enjoy it, especially considering everybody here was just watching him. Let's see if we could pull some strings. This is unplanned, by the way. This was not what we were expecting. I wasn't expecting. Jason is calling Brad. I'm going to do play-by-play for the audio listeners. Jason is calling Brad. Let's see what happens. But I'll pull back to the game really quick. All I'm going to say is these are the 2 best teams in the NFC, plain and simple. And this game is going to be fun. I think it's going to be a slobber knocker, as good old Jim Ross would say. Now, am I as confident in this game as I am in the previous 2 playoff games? Absolutely not, but I think that's kind of what the excitement of the NFC Championship game is I don't think you can luck your way into an NFC Championship game or an AFC Championship game. These are 4 teams that absolutely deserve to be here, and these are the games we're here for, Jason. As much fun as it was drawing a line for the Niners to get to the Super Bowl, where they got to play the New York Giants and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the Super Bowl, I don't think there's any other team I'd want to be playing right now because, as Nature Boy Ric Flair said, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And the Eagles proved that they were the best team in the NFC all season. The Niners are going to have to go to Lincoln Financial Field to get the job done, to get to the Super Bowl. And I think if any Niner team can do that, it would be this one right here.
This is what I wanted to do. Like, it's the same thing. It's right now you get to face the team that has been the best this entire time, right? They had a little slip up at the end when their quarterback was injured. Oh, by the way, that doesn't necessarily bother the San Francisco 49ers. They can just do whatever they want with whoever they want, whatever quarterback. Yeah. I was told that Gardner Minshew is somebody that the 49ers should trade for and all those things. And Philadelphia Eagle fans can't get rid of him fast enough, right? But for me, you do want to play the best, right? And,
yes.
And when you go through like the NFC and you go through all of the teams that have made the NFC title game, have played in it, 1 and 2 very rarely make it, right? Let's even look at last year. The number 1 Green Bay Packers were knocked off by a 5th seed, 6th seed, whatever seed the 49ers were in the divisional round. So 1 and 2 very rarely make it. And this was always my contention all year about the NFC, was always about being this team and this team. No one was scared of the Giants, the Vikings, the Seattle Seahawks, the Bucks, the Dallas Cowboys. Never. Like when people, like I forget what podcast it was where I was like, talking about, hey, I'm not worried about this team. I'm not worried about this team. I'm like, there's only 1 or 2 real Super Bowl contenders. And people were like, well, what about Dallas? And I said, no, Dallas is not one of them because they're not. But you know what, man? It's time. It's time to cook. It is really time to cook. Let me make sure I fix this right. And
yeah. While you're doing that, I'll bring up a point because you mentioned the number 1 and 2 seed, and I wrote an article for Niners Nation. Now, there he is. It's Brad Graham. Let's go. How you doing, Brad?
Right option. Let's go.
Brad, we appreciate you. First of all, thank you very much. I was in the middle of a thought, and all I see is the chat just saying SDS, and I'm like, what is going on? I lost my train of thought. Live podcast. We're just talking about whatever we're talking about. Jason, real quick, before we get to Brad, I just wanted to get this. You said the 1 and 2 seed thing. It's the first time that either conference since 2020 had a 1 and 2 seed. It was the Chiefs against whoever. The last time it happened in the NFC was actually the Niners against the Packers in the 2019 season. And the last time a road team won a 1-2 game was in 2018. So the Niners have a lot going there. Brad, how you doing today? It's a beautiful day.
Brad doesn't have a lot of time.
Area.
Brad,
how you doing?
Brad don't have a lot of time.
I'm phenomenal.
Brad.
But yes.
There's human beings, Brad. There's human beings on earth that don't believe in us. And it breaks my fucking heart, Brad Graham. There are human beings that don't believe in us. They don't believe in the San Francisco 49ers. They don't believe in us. Brad, I don't understand.
God did.
God did?
Come on now, man. Hey, they're going to talk, and we're going to let them talk, and then we're going to cook them after. We're going to take a book out of the Jason Aponte playbook. We're going to let them cook all week. And then when we come away victorious, it's on, and we're in the kitchen. Chef Boyardee, we're cooking. You know the vibes.
Brad, I've been sitting here just collecting, just collecting. I haven't been saying anything. I've shown the Eagles a ton of respect. I do understand.
I'm out here fighting Niner fans to be like, hey man, they're not that bad. Relax,
right? Like it's almost like it's the weirdest thing ever, Brad. And I'm gonna let Andrew cook real quick. It's the weirdest thing ever, bro. It's like all of a sudden the 49ers are going up against this machine, right? And you know what? Since Philly's all about Rocky vibes, now the 49ers are Rocky and the Eagles are Drago. Ooh. And if you remember Rocky 4, right? Adrian screaming, "You can't win! He's too, you see them, you see what he's done to people." That's the national media, right?
Yeah.
Now we're Rocky. Now we're Hearts on Fire. Now the 49ers are the ones on the mountain, like amping themselves up to Hearts on Fire. Like this is where we are now at this point. I love this role. I love it. Now this is house money. Andrew Pasquini, go.
It is. It really is. And I don't like the term house money because I don't think you're ever playing with house money. But now that the Niners are in the NFC Championship game and then they're at the point they were last year with all the talent they had, like, I really think and I know this fan base doesn't like to hear it, but at this point, it is house money. It is. They weren't supposed to be here. Let's be honest. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. But you look at all the other teams that had to play with a third string quarterback. What are they doing right now? You know, and not in the NFC Championship game. I can guarantee you that. Brad, actually, perfect that you're here because I wanted to ask you a question about the Eagles' offensive line really quick, just to get it out of the way. We hear about how good they are, and I'm not saying they're not because they're a very talented line. Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, all that. 44 sacks is not an insignificant number. Do you think the Niners are up against it with their pass rush, or do you think this pass rush can get a little bit going against this highly touted Eagles offensive line?
Well, I freaking loved it because Baldy was talking about it, and he went on to some Philly channel or whatever, and he was talking about, well, Nick Bosa, we know him as a defensive player of the year, superstar in this league, but he's been held in check by 2 rookie tackles 2 weeks in a row. And I'm like, I kind of like that. I kind of like that energy. And I do think that the San Francisco 49ers have an opportunity to take advantage, and I get it. Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson's dealing with a little bit of a groin, right? So there you have that going for you. But I do think the Demico Ryan is going to be a big factor with this. I think individually in silos, every one of those offensive linemen are really good and really talented, but I think it's going to come to scheme and how you can take advantage and also how you can set up moves and counter moves. I think Jordan Mailata is a phenomenal tackle, and he held Micah Parsons in check pretty good the last time that Philadelphia played them. But you can see on tape, there is an ability if you can hit Mailata on counters, like if you get upside, if you can hit, yes, weakest link. If you can hit him with speed to the upfield and counter inside spin, and you start getting him in that guessing game, that's going to be your best shot. So although the Eagles offensive line is probably the best offensive line in football, there aren't impenetrable, right? You can get to the quarterback. And I do think it's going to be a lot of the plan involved because individually they're all very talented. It's going to be how do you attack them and what does that look like? But I actually have to head out of here.
Yeah.
But well, here, real quick.
Yeah,
real quick. 2 seconds. Let's take this real fast. So, Josh, thank you for the donation, and I want to get Brad out of here on this. Do you think there will be a lot of Niner fans like last year? I think Brad's on his way out there, actually out the door, like on top of what he's doing on this. And do you think Kyle will try and start fast or use the run game to settle in? Brad, I'll let you answer this, and then you can get right out of here right after this answer.
I think they're going to try to really keep it cool, calm, and collected to start and try to really get a feel. I think, when I talk to you a lot, Jason, you always say styles make fights, right? And part of that is if you're looking at it from a boxing term, you're trying to kind of feel out your opponent in that first round. You're trying to throw a jab, you're trying to throw an uppercut, trying to see how they react. I think that's how they're going to handle Brock Purdy. It's kind of how they handled Brock Purdy in that offense against, the Dallas Cowboys. So I think being on the road in a crazy environment, I would imagine you'll probably get Kyle pulling the strings here or there on maybe trying to get one of his big hitters out, on a backside of something. But I think ultimately they're going to try to really settle into that run game. And especially we don't know what's going on with Elijah Mitchell, if he'll play or if he'll not play. But, we've heard about how they went away from the outside zone back to gap scheme. I would imagine it's let's get the feel for the run, get play action off of it, and then we can start to open it up a little bit. So I think it will be a slow build up, and it also helps mitigate potential turnovers and things like that.
Brad Graham, Father of the Year, Podcaster of the Year, 49ers Content Creator of the Year, on his way out, on his way to Philly. Thank you so much, Brad, for popping in. Love you, buddy, and see you tomorrow, maybe?
Hey, maybe, yes. if you're coming to Philly, we're definitely linking up.
Jason's like a 3-minute walk from Philadelphia. He'll be
Right.
He
It's
better
pretty
show
close.
up.
It's pretty close.
But shout out to you two bearded brothers. I appreciate you guys having me on and bringing me on like this. Apologies, Andrew, for just completely bombarding you. One of our people in the chat was like, "Oh, we're out to Aponte. We're out to." I'm like, "Oh, the Aponte's live." I was like, I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna get a link. Drop the link in the chat. Everyone, get in there." So hopefully we got you some numbers in here. Remember, everyone, smash that like button, sub if you haven't already, and shout out my boys on the Sprint Ride option. Appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Love you, Brad.
We
Talk to you
appreciate
tomorrow,
you
man.
so much. And it's very easy to make me lose my train of thought. So don't feel bad about that whatsoever. Jason knows how easily I lose it. So, Brad, we love you. Thank you very much. Have a safe flight out there and enjoy the game Sunday, huh?
I'm out of here. Peace.
Peace.
We love you. So let's restart a little bit here, huh? That was fun. That was electric. Brad Graham, very hard to get. We love him. Let's restart. A lot of new names here. I know there's a lot of new names here. So as Brad said, subscribe to Jason Aponte's YouTube channel if you have not yet. Join the Spicy Squad if you want to as well. We have a lot of good content there. We have call-in shows and Sprint Red Option Podcast. Listen, if this is your first time here, you enjoy this and you can't watch all of our live streams, you could find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here. If this is your first ever Sprint Red Option Podcast, we really like to enjoy the comments as well. So, hey, have fun. Let's talk 49ers football. Jason, what you got?
What I got is, thanks to the huge Brad Graham bump.
Yes.
Jason Aponte's YouTube channel just passed 7.6 thousand subscribers.
Look at that. 7.6 thousand. We love it. You remember what was it, 2 years ago when I was like, hey, if Jason Aponte gets past Barry Bonds' home run total, you remember that?
Yeah,
and that's 700 area. I think I said I was gonna eat chili with something. Cinnamon rolls? Was that what it was? That just never happened because I lied. I lied.
All right, let's do it.
All right,
this will get us back on
here. We're coming back. Yeah, okay, here we go. Hey, Artur, thank you very much for the donation. How does SF keep Philly from starting fast? Seems like Phillies always score big first half and then pass rush to stop teams from catching up in the second half. I kind of talked about this a little bit. My 5 players to watch article. I mentioned Talanoa Hufanga, and I understand why people love Talanoa Hufanga. He had a very good year, very all or nothing player making those interceptions. I think what the Niners safeties have to do in this game is maybe focus less on trying to force turnovers, because Jalen Hurts, a 1.3% interception percentage, tied 4th. You know who he's tied with that interception percentage this season? One James Richard Garoppolo, just throwing that one out there. Wow. He's not going to turn the ball over a lot. He finished 5th in the league with 11 40-plus yard pass plays because A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith make that very easy. What I want from the safeties, man, and oh boy, I'm going to get a lot of shit if this quote gets in the wrong hands. Have those safeties play like the Niners safety of previous years. Jaquaski Tart, Jimmy Ward, protect. Don't allow the big plays, right? I know the turnovers are electric and we love it, but to prevent the starting fast, you got to prevent those big plays. You got to lock it down. You can't let A.J. Brown, you can't let Devonta Smith get behind you for those big. Even Quez Watkins in the slot. You want those safeties. I know the interceptions are fun and exciting. Jalen Hurts doesn't turn the ball over a lot. Prevent those big plays. You prevent those big plays, and the Eagles can't start fast. So that's really my key, and I think that's the matchup. I know I give one matchup every week that I'm kind of excited to watch within the game. I'm interested to see how the 49ers safeties adapt, because this is the highest power offense the Niners have faced, maybe outside of the Chiefs. Prevent those big plays. We love it.
I actually did a show yesterday with Robin. He brought up a point where I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles have only like 2 games in which they've taken snaps in the second half in which they're trailing. and it's
dumb. That's insane.
That's insane, right? Like, and that's the thing is, you look at that and you can automatically say, well, the Philadelphia Eagles are very good. But you can also, if you want to spin it in the way of the 49ers, which is what I'm here to do they know how to play from behind? Do they know what it's like if the San Francisco 49ers can score against a defense that, apparently can't be scored on, even though the Dallas Cowboys put 40 fucking points on them, like nothing? I'm starting to find more ways to think about things that make them uncomfortable. You know what makes them uncomfortable? If the game is close in the half, or if the 49ers have a lead going into the half. And now you have to play a little bit tighter than you've ever played, especially given the stakes of this game, but something that you're not used to doing. You're not used to that. So I do think this is going to be an exercise in what Philadelphia hasn't been able to do yet this season. The 49ers have won any way you want to do it. Blow you out, come back in the second half, defensive struggle, whatever. My question to you, Andrew Pasquini, and thank you for the donation, by the way, Artur. Are the Philadelphia Eagles exactly battle tested in the way that this game is going to test them? And that's the question.
Yeah, and that's kind of the point I was making on Monday. I know we didn't really want to talk about this game on Monday because we were both a little nervous to kind of get into it because of how good Philly is. But I really do think that if the Niners can make this an ugly game, can Philadelphia out ugly them? And when I say ugly game, it's the Niners having, 6, 7, 8 minute drives, running the ball well. That's going to be a huge key for this game is keeping the time of possession more in the Niners' favor. And what can Philadelphia do? Because if Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and the running back Miles Sanders, and like that's how scary this offense is, because Miles Sanders is a damn good running back, and you kind of just forget he's there.
You forgot that he has like 13 to 14, 15 touchdowns, something like that this season.
Yeah, like he has 1,200 yards, things like that. But you know how you stop them? You just don't let them get on the field. The Niners need to get first downs. They need to shut down third downs as well, because that's something that they're weird at as well. I hope this is a game where the Niners just run the ball well. I know that was the plan against Dallas. Dallas not great against the run. Philadelphia a little bit better. But Philadelphia, going back to giving Dallas credit, doesn't have Dan Quinn knowing Kyle Shanahan's offense as well as he did. So we'll see what that means as well. But if the Niners can make it ugly and really chew the clock and get points on the board, I'm very curious to see how Philadelphia responds.
Andrew Pasquini, I'm going to task you with a job. Jesse Rodriguez, our resident stat meister, has asked for a certain person so we can figure out what the hell the 49ers and Eagles are running.
Yes.
Can you send that text? And I'm going to take this donation from Bleed Red and Gold. Thank you so much. What's up, boys? Tired of this narrative, but it's only going to be worse after this game. Taking Philly out, Kyle's going to be in his bag. Defense going to get takeaways. Strong run game. Purdy 30. Let's go. I do think that there is a way for the 49ers to just do what they have normally done. This is the thing. And again, a lot of people, when you listen to me say this, from the outside, let's just say you're someone who's new, we get fans every week, whatever team we're facing, all of a sudden they're here, but then they disappear because the 49ers have not lost a game since October 23rd. We're going on January 27th right now on the East Coast. It's been a while. Like, we don't know what it's like to lose a game for a long time. But we get the fans, and then they pop their shit, they come in and they disappear, right? We still haven't found, thoughts and prayers to all those Dallas Cowboys fans. I had to make sure I get one more in. But the 49ers don't have to do much other than be who they are, right? When you look at certain games and you look at teams and you look at what's their path to victory. Some teams, when they face other teams, have to do things that they've never done before or play over their head. The San Francisco 49ers don't have to do that. This is an as evenly matched game as possible right now at this point. And not even not even Cincinnati and Kansas City is as balanced, right?
No.
Like the number 1, number 2 defense, the number 1, number 2, the top 5 offenses. Like, this is like literally unstoppable force, immovable object. But the 49ers don't have to do anything other than play within themselves and be themselves. And I think more than anything, that plays into the 49ers' hands more than it does a team that is here for the first time. They're here for the first time. Jalen Hurts had a playoff game last year, looked awful. Nick Sirianni wasn't there. Cool, get it. That's something that's completely different, right? And the team is obviously better, all of those things. But this is 3 years in 4 years that the 49ers are here with this team. And Deebo Samuel talked about it. I've been here 3 times. I'm here to knock heads off. I'm here. So they know what it takes to get it done. They know what it takes. They know what this game is going to entail. Does Philadelphia know that? Yeah. Do they know that? And I don't know if there's many holdovers from the year in which Nick Foles and the Eagles knocked off Tom Brady. Are they battle tested in this way. Thank you for the donation. And I do think that the 49ers have to just be themselves. And that's how they can walk away with this win.
Well, so too. And Brandon, thank you for the donation. Don't forget, everyone was crowning Prescott after Tampa Bay game. It's the best game of his career, and then scores 12 points against the 49ers. And I'll even add to your comment, Brandon, it seemed like Dak Prescott was more actively trying to throw the ball to the 49ers and the Cowboys on Sunday, too. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the
hold
donation.
on. And did you think that even on Friday, while we're getting ready for the Philadelphia Eagles, that we're still not going to make fun of the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, no, like did you see? You see how easily we got to this?
You thought wrong. It's so easy. Listen to me. We're 49ers fans. Eliminating the Seattle Seahawks and the Dallas Cowboys in back-to-back weeks. Literally all you could ask for is the New York Giants finding a way into this game, eliminating them, then getting the Kansas City Chiefs and eliminating them. And then you know what? 1 week after, call up the Baltimore Ravens and get their ass on the phone and get them into a game and eliminate everybody so we can get rid of every single team that has ever given us problems. So if you think that we're just going to turn down the petty on the Dallas Cowboys, you're sadly mistaken. And I think a little bit of Jason Aponte is leaking into Andrew Pasquini, and I love it. Andrew.
The Cowboys are the Cowboys, man. I grew up hating that team because of my dad and the history and all that. So anytime I can take a shot at the Cowboys, I'll take a shot at the Cowboys.
I love it.
Jason, I do want to say this because you mentioned something that I thought about looking into. You mentioned how many holdovers they have from the Super Bowl team. And what was that Super Bowl?
Kelsey.
5 years ago now?
Yep.
But
Kelsey.
I actually went a little closer because I looked at the Eagles' defensive numbers last season compared to this year. And last year, they were 18th in points allowed. This year, they're 8th. Last year, they're 10th in yards allowed. This year, they're 2nd. Last year, 26th in turnovers. This year, 5th. And the big one, 29th in sacks last year, 1st in sacks. And so I looked at their starters against the New York Giants last week. And I went all the way back to week 2 of last season to look at the starters they had against the 49ers. And I'm like, okay, where is this change? The Eagles had 5 different starters against the Giants last week than they had against the Niners in week 2 last season. Linval Joseph, Reed Blankenship, 2 of the starters. They're fine players in their own, but nothing that really moves the needle. These 3 names, though, weren't on the Eagles last season, on the Eagles this year. Hassan Reddick, 16 sacks, led the NFL this season. James Bradbury, 3 interceptions.
Wait,
51.
How did he lead the NFL? Nick Bosa had 17.5.
I'm dumb. It led the Eagles. I apologize. Not the NFL. I apologize about that, Jason Aponte. I was off. You caught me. You see how easy I lose my train of thought?
No. No. Hassan Reddick has done it on less snaps. That's a really good.
And I meant to say on the Eagles. Led the team on the Eagles. 16 sacks. James Bradbury, 3 interceptions on the season. 51.6 passer rating against. That was 2nd in the NFL per Pro Football Reference. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson, 6 interceptions. That's tied for the league lead. They didn't just add decent pieces. They added pieces that changed this defense. And that doesn't even mention non-starters like Kaiser White, who was 2nd on the team in tackles. And I'm just going to throw in Ndamukong Suh out there. I know he only played 29% of the snaps, but he still has that brand name. The Eagles retooled this defense. And they added the proper pieces, and that's why they're so much better than they were last year, is they improved this defense, and obviously adding A.J. Brown does not hurt anything whatsoever on the offensive side of the ball. But the offense was already there, especially with Jalen Hurts kind of developing, and he might win MVP this year, might not. I don't know, but we'll see what happens there. But man, they've really improved over the offseason, and this is the dividends you hope it pays, is an NFC Championship appearance.
100%. And when you look at their base defense is 5-2-4. It's 5 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 4 in the secondary. And the way that you want to attack is, this is like, I listened to what Brad said about running the ball, and I do think the 49ers are going to run the ball. I mean, they obviously always do, one way or another. It doesn't matter when it comes, it'll eventually come. But there is going to be an opportunity in base downs, 1st and 2nd down, against linebackers. And the 2 linebackers that they have, I believe it's White and TJ Edwards, are the 3rd and 4th most targeted on their team. And they allow a passer rating higher than anybody else on their team. So this is a big George Kittle, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, whoever's going to be in the slot game. Like, there's still a way for the 49ers to run the ball, but putting the Eagles in a spot where you put those guys in conflict, trying to guard those guys on first down when everybody's expecting run, all of those things. By the way, the Eagles are 22nd, I think, in the league in against the run. So again, will they stack the box? Of course. Everybody stacks the box. Seattle did. Tampa Bay did. Every single team did. Do you have the personnel to execute it? Can you stay within yourself? Can you not use your rules against yourself like how Kyle Shanahan does? So there is a way for the 49ers to pass the ball early in this game to set up the run, if that makes any sense. Because a lot of people believe that you can only run to set up the pass. And I don't think that makes sense, especially when you're given what's in front of you. And I think Kyle Shanahan is going to do a good job of that. And he understands you cannot put yourself in situations where that Eagles defense can pin their ears back and come for the quarterback. Like you can't be in 3rd and 15. You cannot be 3rd and 17. Like you 2nd and 9, 3rd and 9. Like you cannot be in those situations at those points. So how do you offset that? Screens, try to use their aggressiveness against them, and also take advantage of those linebackers. And possibly, if Avonte Maddox doesn't play in this game, who's their normal slot cornerback, means that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to come down into the slot, and now you can really take advantage and try to isolate safeties and the slot corner against guys that you have that can create problems. So, again, I'm just tired of hearing about how the 49ers have no shot in this game. It's almost like, to me, anybody who says that is not really understanding the game or is just trying to just say whatever they want to say just to prove a narrative. I don't understand how the 49ers have no shot in this game.
No.
This is like literally the definition of a pick'em at this point. And for our bettors, it's a 50-50 coin toss. And this is what this game is going to be like. Yep. And this is, I still have the 49ers winning this game, but this is going to be the toughest game of the year so far until the next toughest game of the year. Like it's just funny to me how it's like all of a sudden now, when you look stylistically, how the 49ers have been able to create things, how Kyle Shanahan's been able to create things. I get that they have the most sacks. I know we should make this joke, Andrew. I'm just gonna make it. I don't care. If you take away all the games in which the Philadelphia Eagles had sacks, they would have no sacks. So
no sacks. And I was gonna bring that up because I know people are trying to belittle 70 sacks, which is too off
insane
the NFL record. The
Insane
1984 Bears finish was 72. And I went through a lot of stats. We'll get to this donation. And I did want to mention the pass rush. I think us getting to 37th minute of this podcast and not mentioning Philadelphia's pass rush is not fair because that pass rush is insane.
Andrew, if you take away all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns in all of his games, he has 0.
Well, the thing about that, and the thing about that tweet too is what was it? It was 47 sacks in 14 games. That was still more than the Niners had in 17. So what are we trying to say? But I want to say this because I think this was the craziest stat I saw. The Patriots, Steelers, and Vikings were the only 3 teams in the NFL this season to have 2 players finish with 10 or more sacks. The Eagles had 4 finish with 11 or more. Do you know how insane that is? And Hassan Reddick leads the way with 16, Hargrave 11, Josh Sweat with 11, Brandon Graham, who only plays third downs more or less. He had 301 pass rush attempts. That's 160 less than Hassan Reddick. He only had 5 less sacks. And quick math, 75 minus 51, 24 less pressures. This pass rush is insane.
Andrew.
So we'll see what it looks like. But I don't see a way you can excuse near an NFL record amount of sacks because of where they got him, because that all counts in it. I'm terrified of this Eagles pass rush because it comes from every direction. Reddick plays on the left side of the defense. Brandon Graham plays on the left side of the defense. Josh Sweat plays on the right side. Hargrave plays on the right side. There are no breaks on this Eagles pass rush. This Niners offensive line, for as good as it is, it's going to be under a lot of stress all game. And this is where Brock Purdy's mobility is going to help because the Cowboys have a pretty good pass rush. They only sacked Purdy twice because of his mobility. So now let's see. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see how the Niners handle this pass rush because they're not going to face a better pass rush all season. And they might not even face a better pass rush for as long as I live Because it's been damn near 40 years since anybody's touched this record. 1989 Vikings 71 sacks, 1984 Bears 72, the 2023 Eagles 70. So like I might not see another pass rush like this. So yeah, it is of course a problem. So we'll see how it looks.
Andrew, if you take away all of Brock Purdy's completions during seven, he has 0. Like it does 7 games. Like it's just
shout out Jesse. If you take away all the games that the Niners scored more points than their opponent, they're not playing in the NFC Championship game. Hey, NorCal Dan, thank you for the donation. Baldinger said the Eagles are slower than the Cowboys by far. My barber is a Cowboy fan, said the same thing. You can run on them. Yeah, and I know Dallas was slightly worse defensively against the run, and they handled the Niners. But as we said, if you watch the Monday's podcast, how much credit we gave Dan Quinn, I like the Eagles defense, but Jonathan Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator, is in year 2, and he's not Dan Quinn. So we'll see. And then Val, thank you for the donation. Monday morning, there will be loads of TikToks of Brad bitch slapping Eagles fans when the Niners win. Val, I'm assuming you came from Brad. So hey, listen, if you haven't subscribed to the Straight Right Option podcast yet, you should do that. Let's just get a little plug in there. So
Val,
Jason Aponte.
Val, Brad Graham's not very violent. Also, by the way,
yeah, teddy bear, we love him.
How you doing?
Okay, Jason Aponte. We've gone sideways. We've officially gone sideways on the Straight Right Option podcast. We're having a good time. Jason. Who's revenge game?
Oh, I know who it is.
Okay, give me one.
Demico Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Demico Ryans. Like it's literally right there in front of you. He played for the Eagles right then. They didn't give him as much playing time as he normally should have had. This is Demico Ryan's game. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it, man. And it's in front of him right now. He is going back. Apparently, if you listen to certain, reports, you get to a part where it's like, yes, he's going back to his alma mater, where he went, all that stuff. But at the same time, it's got to be Demico Ryans against this Philadelphia Eagles team. Isn't I want to make sure that I say this right, and if it's wrong, Andrew, and I want you to fact check me. Was Demico Ryans a part of that dream team, Philadelphia Eagles
good
team?
Question. What year was that? What year was that? 2012? No, it was 12 because that was Harbaugh's first year, right?
Harbaugh. They won that game. Remember, Vince Young, all of them. This feels like the dream team. All of those things.
Philadelphia Eagles, 4-12 Eagles. Their quarterback was Michael Vick. Yes, sirree. This looks like is Nnamdi Asomugha on this roster. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Demico Ryan's first season with the Philadelphia Eagles was the dream team.
The dream team Eagles. Look at that. And I'm glad that I was able to pull that all back together because that was 10 years ago. But this is Demico Ryan's revenge game.
I didn't even I'm looking at this team's roster I get why they called it Michael Vick, LaShawn McCoy, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Maclin wasn't bad. Riley Cooper, we don't need to talk about him. But you look at the defense, Demico Ryans, Nnamdi Asomugha, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, and look at how about these two names? You ready for this, Jason? Have you heard these two names from the 2012 Eagles? Mm-hmm. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. They've been there.
Brandon Graham still on his team? Good God.
Brandon Graham. So, hey, technically, I guess spin zone, Fletcher Cox. I don't know why I'm struggling with that name. And Brandon Graham revenge game for the week 4 Niners beating the Eagles back in 2011.
Tony, thank you for the donation. I've been pessimistic this week, but 30,000 plus foot view. Bosa's been too quiet lately. I think he goes off. And if Hufanga takes it to Hurts, the 49ers will embarrass the Eagles. Let's see a good game. Not sure if there's a chance to embarrass the Eagles. I like Tony. This feels like a knockdown, drag them out, heavyweight fight in which every single play is going to matter. I don't see this game getting away from either of them just because of how evenly matched both are. And a lot of people are confusing my respect for the Eagles with being afraid. No. When you face the Dallas Cowboys, I know for a fact that the 49ers are better than them. When you face the Seattle Seahawks, I know for a fact that they're better than them. I am going to pop my shit. I'm going to talk my shit. This week, I still got the 49ers winning this game, but I do realize what's in front of them, and I do have respect for the Eagles, and I do understand that they are an immensely talented team who has accomplished a ton this year and who are very much having a home field advantage. And and their team is they're very good. Their team's very good. There's nothing wrong with saying that. I'm not scared, but it's funny. There's no right way to do this. When I pop my shit on the Atlanta Falcons, it's, oh, Jason, it's your fault that we lost to the Atlanta Falcons, or it's your fault that, it's like, okay, now I'm showing respect to the team, and now all of a sudden I'm scared. Like, you need to tell me how I need to move at this point. Seriously.
I already got people blaming me for a potential loss because I broke the hat, so.
Oh, God.
We stick our head out there. We stick our neck out there. But yeah, listen, I'm pretty confident the Niners can win this game. Philadelphia is a concerning team. They're very good. That's why they're here. Please don't confuse that with doubt, because I think the Niners can beat any team in the NFL right now.
As long as they play their game.
And as long as they play their game. Jason, I have a Hoomst revenge game for you for two reasons. Go. I don't know how we haven't had a Brock Purdy Hoomst revenge game, because we could have done it every week for the past 2 months, because he was literally the last pick in the draft, and that means every team passed on him. So technically, these are all Brock Purdy revenge games. But Jason, I'm sure you saw this back in 2019. The Oklahoma Sooners beat the Iowa State Cyclones 42-41. Brock Purdy, 19 for 30, 282 yards, 5 touchdowns, only to be beaten by Jalen Hurts, 18 for 26, 273, and 3 touchdowns. I don't think my heart can handle a 42-41 game, especially a game where entering the fourth quarter it was 42-21, and Iowa State had to make the comeback. But I mean, hey, man, I cannot think of a better opportunity for Brock Purdy to go in and beat Jalen Hurts and revenge for a Big 12 game 4 years ago than in the NFC Championship game.
I think there's 2 college programs that right now are trying to figure out who Jalen Hurts belongs to. Like, is he Oklahoma's? Yeah. Is he Alabama's? So I think that's pretty funny. But it is kind of funny that this has been brought up, and now Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy have the same amount of playoff wins. Or the same amount of playoff games, because Jalen Hurts just won his first playoff game last week. He lost his initial. So Brock Purdy actually has more playoff wins than Jalen Hurts does, which is kind of funny. Just to say that out loud. Yeah. I think it's kind of funny.
And there's so many things, too, because I see people, Eagle fans talking about Purdy and being a rookie, and Niner fans talking about Hurts and experience in the playoffs, and you have Niner fans talking about the Eagles' week schedule. You have you have Eagle fans talking about the Niners' week schedule. There's a lot of things that cancel out between these two teams, and that's why I think everybody should sit and enjoy this football game between 2 of the best teams in the NFL, and just see what happens. At some point, man, narratives need to stop, and football happens, and we'll see what happens. As I said, this is a game where ideally the refs don't get too involved, because at the end of the game, whoever wins, I think it's going to be who the better team is. And ideally that better team is the San Francisco 49ers.
Brandon says, according to David Lombardi, but according to Football Outsiders is really what you should say. The Eagles run defense DVOA is 20th in the league. Cowboys were number 3. You'll see a lot more running lanes for the. Yeah, I do think, again, when you look at a lot of what went on earlier in the season, Jordan Davis was injured. That was something that really slowed them down. They went on Thursday Night Football. Dameon Pierce ran all over them, the Houston Texans. By the way, I have a rant loading about almost losses, and we'll get to that in a little bit, because almost losses seem to be the crux of everyone else's arguments to downplay the San Francisco 49ers. By the way, spoiler alert, almost losses, they're called wins.
Just like almost interceptions are called
incompletions. Yeah. So yeah, I do think that their speed is a little bit where it can be tested. The Dallas is fast. They played a great game. They knew what they were doing. I do think the 49ers will see a little bit more running lanes, and I agree with that 100%. And Bleed Red and Gold, thank you again for the donation. What slows down a pass rush? Run game. What do the 49ers do best? Going to be an old school physical slugfest. I think that we are getting to a point where it's starting to become more and more clear what the 49ers have to do. And what the 49ers have to do is just be themselves. They don't have to do anything other than be themselves. And that, at times, when you get into the playoffs, you look at teams and it's an uphill battle. The 49ers are not facing an uphill battle. They're facing a team that is just as tough and just as loaded at almost every single position. It's not an uphill battle. It's literally an even match. They don't have to do anything other than be themselves. And I do think that Kyle Shanahan realizes that and notices that. So, yeah.
All right, Jason, do you want to get to some predictions?
I do, but I just want to cook real quick about almost losses.
Well. So I got a question, just
Yep.
for you, Jason.
Yeah.
Between us girls.
Between us.
Do you want to talk about almost losses and maybe a short after dark, or do you want to?
Oh, all right. You know what?
We have 300 people here. We can maybe go on that rant after dark and kind of show
Streets is
people
saying,
what we do.
you know what? Streets is saying that it's 9:00 on the East Coast. It's
dark.
NFC Championship week. The 49ers are playing in the game in 2 weeks. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The 49ers are playing in 2 weeks in Glendale, Arizona. So you know what, Andrew Pasquini? Let's get to some predictions. Good call, as always. The best host in the business.
Listen, when Brad Graham gets people to come watch the Sprint Right Option podcast, we got to give them the full Sprint Right Option podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Jason, before we get to the important game, kind of as we done with the postseason, who are the Niners playing in the Super Bowl?
The Cincinnati Bengals. It's time. It's time to finally get this done. You know, I hate when people lie on Twitter and they tell stories about how they ran into a fan who said this, but this is an exact true story. And I want to put this out there. I went to the store today. I was wearing my 49ers sweater, my 49ers hat before I got my haircut. By the way, my haircut looks amazing. Before I got my haircut, I was wearing my hat. And a guy behind me, while I'm walking into the store, says, "You guys going to beat the Eagles?" And I said, "See you in 2 weeks." And he said, "I'm a Bengals fan. We owe you." And I said, "See you in 2 weeks." The Cincinnati Bengals get it done. And they are just loaded, man. They're playing in a way, like, again, we talk a lot about like it factor and what it is, but Joe Burrow has it, bro. Mm-hmm. Joe Burrow has it. He has it. Mm-hmm. They're loaded. They are playing at a level. They're literally the only team that is right behind the 49ers in terms of being hot and winning games is the Cincinnati Bengals. And when you listen to the Bengals, and when you listen to Joe Burrow, this was the coldest quote, man, because he is the coldest, man. I have to give this man respect, man. He's the man. When they said about the neutral site Super, AFC Championship, if that happens, and they said, he said, "You know what? Send your refunds, my man. You know what? I wish you nothing but the best. I think you're gonna get it done again. Remember, they haven't ever lost to Kansas City. You're gonna get it done again, but you're not getting revenge in the Super Bowl." So I do think it's the Cincinnati Bengals that the 49ers see at the end.
I think the AFC Championship game is a legacy game. Listen, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL, but if they don't win on Sunday, that'll be 3 years in a row that the Chiefs had not won a Super Bowl after him winning his first. And
Andrew Pasquini, real quick.
Yes.
49er fans always talk to me about, I want multiple Super Bowls. I don't want to just win one. I want to win a few. Well, let me explain something to you. Patrick Mahomes is probably going to leave this weekend and still only have one. Andy Reid only has one. Mike Tomlin has one. John Harbaugh has one. And Aaron Rodgers has one. Nobody wins multiple Super Bowls. Let's win one.
Unless your name is Brady.
That's it. And maybe we'll put him as the exception to the rule. Let's win one, and then we'll talk about winning this multiple one. Like, I'm just tired of people talking about, well, I want to win multiple. Yeah, you, me, and to God's ears, because nobody does it. Nobody. This is going to be another year where we're probably going to be at the end of this year, and we're going to say Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football and still only has one Super Bowl. Yep. One. That's how hard it is. I'm tired of everybody telling me about, I want to win this and I want to win that. Mm-hmm. Win one. Let's win one, and we'll talk about winning 2 and 3 and 4.
Yep. But yeah, exactly to that point, Jason. It's the reason I say it's a legacy game because I think for the past 4 years, the thought has been the AFC runs through Kansas City. Well, the Bengals, if they win this game, that's 4 consecutive wins against the team that, quote unquote, runs the AFC, and 2 consecutive years that the AFC Championship game has been hosted at Arrowhead Stadium with the Bengals going to the maybe Super Bowl. We'll see. I think after Sunday, the AFC in 2023 runs through Cincinnati because the Cincinnati Bengals are going to go into Burrowhead Stadium, as the kids would call it nowadays, win their 2nd consecutive AFC Championship game, and go to the Super Bowl. So there you go.
Well, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals have a big responsibility. Mm-hmm. They have a big responsibility of keeping Jackson Mahomes and his sister-in-law, whatever it is. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes' wife off of our TV.
I think the Chiefs have done a good job of doing that already, though.
Yeah, but I think that Patrick Mahomes is not unlikable in any way. It's the people around him, but I do have the Cincinnati Bengals winning this one.
All right. So now the game that everybody's here to talk about, Jason Aponte, the 49ers and the Eagles. I just want to let people know we have picked the 49ers in every game this season. I don't think that's going to change today.
We're 15 and what were we? We're 15-4?
15-4. I think that's where we are, which is a pretty good record on picks. I think it's safe to say. Jason, I think we're both picking the 49ers. What's your final score?
I got the Niners winning 23-20. This is going to end on my favorite player's leg, the person that is carried the 49ers. That would be number 9, Robbie Gould. And, yeah, I mean, they're going to get out of here doing the things that they normally do, being physical for 60 minutes, running the ball, not turning the ball over, and being opportunistic. If the 49ers win this turnover battle, say goodnight, Philadelphia. Do not turn the ball over. Do not. If you lose this turnover battle, you will lose this game because the 49ers will take that and turn that into points. Mm-hmm. If the 49ers do what Brock Purdy has been doing, the 49ers had 1 turnover last week. That's Ray-Ray McCloud. Brock Purdy has not turned the ball over, and no one else has fumbled the ball, anything like that. If that continues, I promise you, if the San Francisco 49ers win the turnover battle, they will win, and they will be playing in Glendale. They are going to be playing in Glendale. And God willing, Jason Aponte is going to cover his first Super Bowl with it being the San Francisco 49ers in Glendale.
Let's keep it simple, Stupid. Shall we? Niners don't turn the ball over. They control the time of possession. They run the ball. They're going to win 24-17. 49ers beat the Philadelphia Eagles. They head to their second Super Bowl in 4 years. Jason Aponte, we're going to go after dark. For the new people here who haven't witnessed After Dark, we're going to end the podcast. We're going to say goodbye because that's for the audio listeners. We're going to play our end credit, but I promise that we will be here when that end credit ends. Actually, I won't because I'm going to run to the bathroom as the end credit runs and Jason.
Oh, wait, I was going to run and do that first. So wait, you want me to? So I'll wait for you to come back and then do it.
Okay. And then we'll do that. So, hey. So
well, you know what I'll do is I'll start my rant and then I'll let you jump.
Beautiful. I'll give you your rant while I go to the bathroom. So yeah, for the people here live, we're going to end the audio portion, but we'll be back for what we call After Dark. Any questions, if it's 49er specific, if it's not, whatever it may be, we're just here to hang out, have fun, talk to you guys because it is a special week and it is the NFC Championship game and we got a little bit of time after. So Jason Aponte, for the new people at home, we end the podcast in a certain way. I just simply say Jason Aponte as always.
Let's go fucking Niners.
Let's go Niners. Thank you for everybody listening. Hang out for After Dark.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Ride Option Podcast.
Jason Aponte. Andrew Pasquini is using the bathroom. We are going to be doing After Dark at this point, but I did want to expand a little bit on what I was talking about with almost losses because that seems to be a talking point for almost every single fan, right? Cowboy fans brought it up. The Seattle Seahawks brought it up, and they talked about how the 49ers almost lost to this team, almost lost to that team. Well, you know what? Almost losses are wins. And if we want to play that fucking game, let's play it. Because here we go. The Philadelphia Eagles almost lost to the Indianapolis Colts, almost lost to the Houston Texans, lost to the left hand up. Who are we?
The 49ers.
The Commanders. Oh. Shut up, Andrew. My thing is this. I don't understand why almost losses are such a big thing for the 49ers, but we cannot bring that up against the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Rob said this yesterday, and I'm going to steal it. Rob Stats Guerrero. Make sure that you guys subscribe to his channel and everything as well, too. Love Rob. I hope the 49ers almost lose on Sunday. I hope the 49ers almost lose on Sunday.
Yeah.
I would rather almost lose. I would rather almost lose than almost win. But it's funny to me that the 49ers have not lost a game since October 23rd. And in this league that is so tough, so talented, full of parity, full of teams that continue to get better and how game plans and personnel work, everything, somehow, because the 49ers didn't blow out the Las Vegas Raiders, didn't blow out this team, somehow that has something to do with this game. Meanwhile, I can't point out to the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles almost lost to the Houston Texans, who are dog shit. The Indianapolis Colts, who are dog shit. Like, it is right there in front of you. The Dallas Cowboys, who scored 12 points against the San Francisco 49ers last week, put up 40 on the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, if you want to bring up the fact that Gardner Minshew started in that game, I've got news for people, and I want you to sit down so you can take this in. Gardner Minshew doesn't play fucking defense. I don't care about like who played on offense when your defense gave up 40 to the Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers just put them to 12. So, tired of hearing about almost losses. Almost losses are wins. Why is this a talking point for the 49ers and the 49ers only? Why are almost interceptions only the talking point for the 49ers and no one else? I don't understand any of those things.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I don't know. I feel like people really want to say, well, oh, it was an almost loss, so this means it's overrated. No, I think almost losses are just as impressive as blowout wins, because you have to you have to stay engaged the whole game. You have to play it tight. You have to make sure everything's going right. So yeah, I do value those close wins a little bit more than the blowouts, because blowouts happen and it just means you're better than a team. But if you have to win these close games, they're because like it's so funny because they talk about almost losses on Twitter, but then on, when they're talking during the game, they talk about how Brock Purdy's never had a close game near the fourth quarter, which they seem to forget the Raiders game every time. Hey, Jason, just some advice. If you go too quick, they're going to think you didn't wash your hands. Take like an extra 10 seconds. So yeah, like I don't like the idea of the even the strength of schedule conversation, because I see people talking about how the Eagles, and then I know Jason was talking mainly about the Eagles side of this. I look at it more on the 49ers side of it, where, yeah, people talk about the Eagles got to play the AFC South, the worst division in football. The Niners, on the other hand, played against the NFC South, a very bad division, and they also had 6 division games against the NFC West, one of the worst divisions in football this season, because the Cardinals and the Rams didn't quite meet.
Where I didn't use the bathroom, by the way.
Okay, cool. Well, make sure, just when you do go to the bathroom, make sure you take extra time, because I think I didn't wash my hands, even though my bathroom's super close to where I'm at right now. Anyways, but that's my I guess that's the point I want to make is I think at some point it's time to get rid of past narratives and past conversations and just see what happens on a football field. See what happens on a football field at Sunday at 3:00 Eastern time at Lincoln Financial Field, and see what happens, because win, lose, or I guess there is no draw in this situation. Whatever happens on Sunday, the previous, what are we at now, 19 weeks, doesn't matter. What matters is what happens on Sunday.
And, common opponents, right? I saw that get brought up. The Eagles lost to the New Orleans Saints, but Jalen Hurts didn't play. So again, I can use whatever I want. That narrative, whatever I want. Context is key. So don't bring up the fact that the 49ers lost in week 1 to the Chicago Bears or the Atlanta Falcons or the Denver Broncos. Those are 3 of their 4 losses. You know what the 49ers did after that? They lost one more time to the Kansas City Chiefs, who are actually playing this weekend, and didn't lose again. And their record against playoff teams are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. They swept the Seattle Seahawks, beat them 3 times. They beat the vaunted Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniels, the real genius. That's 4. And Tampa Bay, that's 5. Right? Like,
I think their only loss to a playoff team was the
Chiefs.
The Chiefs. And they beat the Chargers, who were barely a playoff team.
They were. Yeah, God, were they barely a playoff team.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me how you can twist whatever narratives you want based on whatever you want. Context is always going to be key. I don't care what happened in week 1. That team from week 1 ain't walking in that door in Philly. When that boombox goes up and they're playing back-to-back by Drake to Dis Meek Mill, and they come out to that and they talking their shit, that ain't the team. That ain't the team. Let's troll. Let's troll, Andrew. Let's troll.
Oh, can you imagine Trent Williams and Debo with the boombox back?
Is that a world tour or your girl's
tour?
That's
the one I was gonna go to.
Troll all the way. Troll.
I also
all the way.
I like trigger fingers turn to Twitter.
Twitter fingers turn to Twitter. Yeah, just troll all the way to the top.
We love
but
it.
My thing is, I can use whatever I want. Context is always going to be key. That team from week 1, that team that played in Atlanta, that I was there for that game, they're not walking through that door in Philly. They're not coming out with that boombox. That's not them. That ain't this. This ain't that. And if you really want to look at it, the Philadelphia Eagles had a tougher time holding on to the number 1 seed than the 49ers did gaining the 2nd seed. Listen to what I said, and I'm going to say it one more time. I'm going to say it slower because, I'm East Coast. I kind of speak fast. The Philadelphia Eagles had a tougher time holding on to that number 1 seed than the San Francisco 49ers did gaining the 2nd seed. And I don't want to hear about backup quarterbacks. Oh, well, Gardner Minshew played. The 49ers are on their 3rd quarterback. Their 3rd quarterback. If you were like that, none of that matters. This is why I have such confidence in this team. I have such confidence in the San Francisco 49ers. You know why? My 2 coaches are ready. This roster is loaded. This kid is playing very well. But when you cry to me about losing games because you had a backup quarterback starting, the 49ers have had a backup quarterback starting for 17 weeks. 17 weeks. Okay? Trey Lance got injured in week 2. 17 weeks the 49ers have played with a backup quarterback. I don't give a fuck about you and your backup quarterbacks. I'm sorry. Andrew, you can talk now.
I can talk now. Yeah, and that's the dumbest sentence of this all is the Niners have played 17 weeks with a backup quarterback and 2 months with a 3rd string quarterback, and it just feels like with each and you can't really say the transition from Lance to Garoppolo the Niners got better because we still don't know what Trey Lance is, but that's not the conversation today. But
that's a conversation for another day. Oh well, give it a rest, Andrew. Give it a rest. The engagement will be there. The engagement will be there in the off season. Give it a rest, man.
I don't want to gatekeep any conversations. So whatever. But
I'm tired of you, man. I'm tired of you.
But when Purdy came in, there was that people talk about how the Niners offense took a step when they got Christian McCaffrey. But there was a second step when they got Brock Purdy. With Jimmy Garoppolo and Christian McCaffrey on the team, they weren't ripping 30 points a game.
Nope.
Brock Purdy showed up, and all of a sudden they're scoring 30 points a game. And I like to think that if you can get to that, because 30 is that number where it's like, okay, if you score 30, you should win. And that's what the Niners are doing, especially with this defense. And all Brock Purdy has done, we referenced it with Jimmy Garoppolo, Jason, but talk about being a point guard in the 49ers offense. That's literally all Purdy's been doing is he's just been getting the ball into the hands of people. But then what he's done is he's getting the ball in the hands of players, but a little bit deeper down the field than Jimmy Garoppolo ever did. And I think that's really been the big difference. And we've talked about the way he processes the field compared to Garoppolo. And then you just talk about and then the conversation just rewinds that he was the last pick in the draft in April.
Yeah.
Like this isn't like we talk about how a rookie quarterback's never been to a Super Bowl and all that stuff. And we talked about it at the start of the season because Trey Lance, not a rookie, but his first experience and how tough it would be for him. And then you remember that the Niners are doing this with a rookie who wasn't the first pick or the second pick or the third pick or the fourth pick. And I'm not going to go all the way to 256 and count this, but they're doing it with a guy who was the last pick in the draft. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm expecting the Niners to lose this game, but because I don't, but if they do lose this game, that is something that should be kept in the perspective of this is that the Niners probably shouldn't even be here. Saying the sentence of, yeah, the quarterback who you spent 3 first-round picks to get, he got hurt. And then the quarterback who got to an NFC championship game last year and got to a Super Bowl a couple years before that, he got hurt. So you're just using this guy who was the last pick in the draft. To me, if the season ends on Sunday, it's not a loss where I'm going to come on. If the Niners lose on Sunday and you listen to the Sprint Right Option podcast, because I know we got a lot of new listeners here right now, and you compare it to what the podcast sounded like a year ago, which we don't need to talk about that game. I think the energy is going to be a little different because there was that expectation of, hey, the Niners have beaten the Rams X amount of times in a row. They shouldn't lose this game. Where we're telling you, yeah, we think the Niners lose this game, but there is a realm of possibilities the Niners don't win this game. It's fully possible. And that's nothing to hang your head on because
Right.
honestly, the fact that they're even there is unbelievable. So yeah, I just the last thing I want this to turn into is a conversation. And I know I can't prevent this, but a conversation on Twitter of, well, the Niners would have won that game if this, and this. Where realistically, I think if the Niners lose this game, it just should be a conversation of, hey, the Eagles are just better this year, and that's okay to say.
I am far less confident in the 49ers winning this game, this NFC championship, than I was last year. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I still believe that this team will get it done. Yeah. I want you to say that. I want to say that one more time. The Los Angeles Rams last year are not better than the Philadelphia Eagles this year. They are not. But the 49ers from last year are better this year than they ever were.
Yeah.
And I saw a tweet from somebody that I really respect saying, well, if Jimmy G was healthy, this team would be doing the same exact thing. Stop acting like Brock Purdy is carrying this team. And unfortunately, while I respect this man, I think that he's a great analyst. I think that he's very smart. I wholeheartedly disagree. And here's why. Like Andrew said, Jimmy Garoppolo was playing quarterback for this team, and they weren't ripping off 30-point games, even with Christian McCaffrey. Now, the San Francisco 49ers are, and Brock Purdy is hitting throws that Jimmy Garoppolo is not taking. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy's not turning the ball over, right? And in critical situations. So, no, Brock Purdy's not carrying this team. But the 49ers quarterback position has never been asked to do more than be a point guard. Mm-hmm. And Nick Sirianni called Jalen Hurts Michael Jordan. And I don't think he meant it that that he's Michael Jordan in the way of the best player in the world.
Yeah.
That's what he means to the Eagles offense. Yes. Well, unfortunately for you, Nick Sirianni and Philadelphia Eagles fans, there is a way where Brock Purdy doesn't have the best game and the 49ers find a way to win that game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw it last week.
Right. You are tied to the play of Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts does not perform well, you will not win. If Brock Purdy plays like a guy who has only had 7-8 games under his belt, the 49ers have a much better chance to walk away with the win. So it's funny to me that people would ask and say things about Brock Purdy carrying. He's not. He's executing at a level that no San Francisco quarterback has done under Kyle Shanahan. Trust me when I say this. This is a guy who is not high on Brock Purdy. You've been pulling up my receipts, and I will not delete
either
the
of
tweet
us
because, I will not delete the tweet because Mama didn't raise no bitch, and it is a learning experience. Everything about that is fine, but Jalen Hurts is far more vital to the to the Eagles' success than Brock Purdy is to the 49ers' success. But Brock Purdy is executing at a level that James Garoppolo, I don't know what CJ stands for, Beathard, Nick Mullins, Trey Lance. I don't care who the quarterback is. Brock Purdy is executing this offense at a level that is completely different. Casey Jarrett? That stinks. That's really bad.
Jarrett, CJ's better than Casey Jarrett.
Yeah. Brian Hoyer.
Casey Beathard doesn't make the NFL. CJ Beathard.
Brian Hoyer. Yes. Brock Purdy is literally executing this offense to a level that we've never seen. And he's not being asked to do more than just distribute the football to elite playmakers. Jalen Hurts is being asked to carry this team. If Jalen Hurts has a bad game, the Eagles lose. If Brock Purdy has a bad game, the 49ers still have a path to a victory. I don't know what else needs to be said.
Yeah, and if you look at their loss to Washington, Jalen Hurts, 175, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. One of his worst games of the season. Dallas, in a 26-17 win, he had a game with fewer passing yards, 155, against the Cowboys a few weeks earlier, but he didn't turn the ball over. My thing is with Brock Purdy, is like when I look at his stats, if I didn't watch the game, like if I just watched box scores and I looked at Brock Purdy's stats, I don't care about yards, I don't care about touchdowns, I don't care about completion percentage, I don't care about any of that. The first stat I would look at is interceptions. If that number is 0, the Niners offense did its job. And that's really all Brock Purdy needs to do, is just not turn the ball over and not get the Niners offense off the field. And that's what he's done. 2 interceptions since he's been a starter. If you want to count the Miami game as a start since he took over so early, 3 interceptions in that span. He hasn't turned the ball over, and that's all that's mattered. He hasn't had particularly great yardage. He sat in that 175 to 225 area the whole time. But the reason the offense has been working is he hasn't been turning the ball over. And that's huge. And we saw a little bit of it with Garoppolo before he went down. I mentioned that Hurts tied Garoppolo for the 4th lowest interception percentage in the league this season. But what Brock Purdy's doing is the Niners offense feels like it can go a little vertical. Because with Garoppolo, it was really everything 5 yards around the line of scrimmage. Let Debo do his thing. Let Kittle do his thing. Let Ayuk do his thing. Once they got McCaffrey, let McCaffrey do his thing. Where I feel like with Purdy, I mean, the Seahawks game felt like the perfect example. He was consistently hitting Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle in that 15, 20, 25 yards downfield area when they were wide open in the middle of the field. I'm not saying Garoppolo doesn't hit those throws, but does Garoppolo even give it a chance to let those plays develop before he goes to the check down? Exactly. So that's really the biggest difference between Purdy and Garoppolo for me. And I don't know if I'd go as far to say that the Niners would not be in the NFC Championship game with Garoppolo. But I can say confidently that they're not averaging 30 points per game with him. The games are probably a lot closer than they've been with Purdy. They might be in the NFC Championship game. I don't know, but it's definitely not at 30 points a clip. It's not like we're talking about the Niners. Like that Raiders game with Jimmy Garoppolo, probably not a win. And Yosef, or excuse me, AC, we're talking about Garoppolo compared to Purdy just because we were talking about how the offense really felt like it took us. I started. I know. I saw you're new here. You just joined. I started it by saying people talk about Christian McCaffrey being the catalyst to why the offense has improved as they were. But I'm saying that when Purdy took over, there was a second step up after McCaffrey. So that's why the conversation. We're not saying that we hope Garoppolo plays in the Super Bowl or anything like that. It's mainly what we're saying.
2 things. First of all, just look at how this team was. They've been constructed that way under Jimmy Garoppolo, and they weren't putting up points like this, unfortunately. And I want to point to last week. I think it was 15 direct pressures generated by the Dallas Cowboys that had, again, that accounts for front 4 whenever they send pressure, sometimes secondary people, 2 sacks. 15 pressures for Jimmy Garoppolo means 11 sacks, 10 sacks, 8 sacks.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
That's huge.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
Now, mid diggity. AJ Brown equals our DK Metcalf.
Can I say my comment first?
No, hold on.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, Jason.
Hold on. Go ahead. There's players in this league that you can't slow down. You can't stop. I'm fine with that. Nothing you could do, right? You don't stop AJ Brown. You don't stop DK Metcalf. You don't stop DeAndre Hopkins. You don't stop all of these guys, right? The best wide receivers in the league. You don't stop Justin Jefferson. You don't stop Cooper Kupp.
Nope.
Cool. They're going to get their games. In a basketball game, when you play the Golden State Warriors, and I'm going to pander to my Bay Area people, you don't stop Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you stop everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You slow down everyone else. Okay? AJ Brown's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. I think we saw last year against the Titans, when the 49ers had Ambry Thomas and Josh Norman, who are the number one. By the way, Ambry Thomas is not playing in this game, so the season's over. Like, season's over. Andrew Pasquini. Stop telling me about why A.J. Brown is just going to do A.J. Brown things and all of a sudden this is the reason why the fucking 49ers are going to lose. Will you shut up? Will you shut up, man? Seriously. Will you shut up? It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like when you play the Warriors and Steph Curry goes up for 50 and you're like, oh, damn, we couldn't stop him. You can't stop guys that are really good at the sport. So I don't fucking care. We know that he's going to be fine. We know that A.J. Brown's going to do his thing. I am not expecting the 49ers to shut out the Philadelphia Eagles. I am not expecting them to hold them to under 100 total yards. I'm not expecting them to slow down A.J. Brown. And clearly, Avery in the background believes the same thing.
Yes.
So will you shut up about this shit? I'm just tired of like, oh my God, they have A.J. Brown. We should like, who gives a shit? Seriously. Yeah, he is going to do his thing. I don't care.
Yeah, and I even want to say, man, diggity, why are you holding A.J. Brown down to DK Metcalf's level? I think he's significantly better than DK Metcalf. You could make a better comparison there, but Jason makes a great point, and to compare it to last year when we talked about, the Rams, when they had Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp, it was let Cooper Kupp do whatever he wants. He's going to get his. He's going to get 100 yards. It's what he is. You can't let the second receiver beat you. So, yeah, A.J. Brown's going to get his. I don't want to talk about on Monday though about how A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith went off, because if both of them go off,
I don't want to hear about how A.J. Brown went for 198 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, there has to be a limit. A.J. Brown's gonna do his thing, but you cannot allow A.J. Brown to destroy you. And the 49ers, I've never heard more disrespect towards the number one defense in total offense and in total defense, in scoring points, all of that. Now, all of a sudden, are just going to turn into this defense that gives up 800 points, 9,000 yards. All of these, it's so insane to me. If A.J. Brown walks away in this game with 7 receptions for 137 yards, there's still a lane for the 49ers to win this game. What you can't allow is 7 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. That is going to destroy you.
Yes.
The 49ers won't allow that. I don't understand why we're talking about that. And I do think he is a little bit better than DK Metcalf, but tomato, apples are, tomato, whatever it is, same shit.
Yeah, and too, I don't want to bring it back to this because I think this is a bit lazy narrative, but really in NFL history, when the number one defense faces an offense that's super high powered, more often than not, it's the defense that comes out on top. Defense wins championships. That's really the narrative. That's
a mantra. It's like a cliche.
Yeah, right? and it's so overused that it's kind of lost its value a little bit. But it historically speaking, when these high-powered offenses meet these really tough defenses, more often than not, the tough defenses win. So that's where I'm at. I see the threat in Philadelphia's offense. I absolutely do. But where my issue comes into play, what are your thoughts on AJ Brown, Strawberries Ward?
Chico Taco, is AJ Brown gonna torch the Niners? Yes or no? No Niners, but is AJ Brown gonna torch? Is AJ Brown gonna torch the Niners?
No Niners.
What? Go to your room, girl. Go to your room, girl.
Oh wait, no, I wanted to ask her what she thought about Charlie Brown's big adventure.
We're still in the process of platinuming that. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. So yeah, man. Like I know it's a narrative and it's a mantra that defense wins championships, but we've seen the Niners defense face high power offenses this season. Dallas, not a bad offense. I know. I'm not trying to say Dallas is as good as Philadelphia, but 12 points to Dallas's offense. Miami. I know we have thoughts on them, but Miami only scored 17. They faced some very good offenses this season, and really the only blip in the radar is the Chiefs game. And outside of that, the Niners defense didn't allow much. And I have full trust in the Niners against the Eagles, the Niners defense at least.
Eric Pruitt. You want to bring up the Chiefs? You want to bring up the Raiders? 40 points from the Cowboys.
Yep.
Barely
Games
beat
like that.
Barely beat the Indianapolis Colts.
Games like that happen. Like
left hand up.
Lou who?
Who'd you lose to?
On Monday night.
The Commanders.
Yeah, and listen.
If you don't get the fuck out of here with that narrative and Connor Maurice, the Raiders exposed the Niners defense. The Cowboys exposed.
You peaked yourself. You muted yourself, actually. That's how excited you were.
The Cowboys exposed the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Yeah, and
the Falcons, the Broncos, who cares?
Yeah.
Left hand up. Who whooped your ass? The Commanders. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
This podcast has slowly turned into a left hand up podcast. I don't know where that
I
came
don't
from.
care anymore about hearing all that shit. How dare you come in here and talk crazy about a team that beat those teams and you lost to Taylor Heineke. Taylor fucking Heineke, who got benched when he played the San Francisco 49ers. Eric Pruitt, morons. Are y'all this dumb? Or are y'all just here trolling? Because if you're here trolling, I would expect more of a better trolling experience than you to be this dumb. Let's ride these nuts, Eric. Okay? Denver's not playing this week. Okay? Denver's not playing this week. And the San Francisco 49ers haven't lost since October 23rd. So ride these nuts, my boy. Get your ass up out of here, blood.
Well, my thing is, too, to the point specifically of the Raiders exposed the Niners defense. Since the Raiders allegedly exposed the Niners defense has allowed 13, 23, and 12. So I don't like listen, and I'm
who's hold on. Who's
hey, Min Diggity. First time here, I know, because you're an Eagles fan.
Who's bitter? Who's bitter? Cooking isn't bitter. I am cooking you. I am cooking. So, if you don't know, because you are new here, and I guarantee you won't be here after the Eagles lose this game either. You're not pulling back up afterwards. So let me introduce you real quick and let you know how this shit works. When you bring up bullshit about almost losing, I am going to cook you for the teams you lost to and gave up 40 points to, that the team that I root for gave up 12 points to. So what you're doing right now is you're not understanding where you're at. You thought you were going to come here and talk shit. You thought you were going to come here and frazzle us. You thought that you were going to come here and make points. You're not making any points. 40 points to the Dallas Cowboys, 12 points. San Francisco 49ers. Washington Commanders come in, beat you in your crib. Ron Rivera and all of them, they were dancing on the plane. Whooped your ass. Okay? You lost to the New Orleans Saints. Oh, you had a backup quarterback starting. Guess what? The San Francisco 49ers backup quarterback was starting Jimmy Garoppolo. And guess who won that game? If you come here, don't give me the smoke. I don't duck the smoke, and I'm not going anywhere. You will get fried. Stop fucking playing with me. No one's bitter. You getting cooked. You getting fried. And that's your problem. So, you want to come to After Dark? You want to bring your bullshit up? I got everything for you. Every single thing that you want to bring up, I got a retort for. You know why? I do this. I watched y'all. Y'all almost lost to the Houston Texans. Y'all almost lost to the Indianapolis Colts. The 49ers would have whipped their ass by fucking 800 points, both of those teams. And you sitting here telling me that a team that you lost to, the Washington Commanders, you gave up 40 to the Dallas Cowboys. You lost to the New Orleans Saints. Now all of a sudden, I need to sit here and be humble. Mint Diggity, you are the latest on Get Fried by Jason Aponte. Get fucking cooked.
Yeah, and I'll bring it to the point of over an 18 or 17 game season, games like that are going to happen, and that's just what it is. It's not defenses aren't going to be perfect every week. So yeah, the Niners had rough performances against the Raiders and the Bears and all that, but on the same side, the Eagles have too, and that's kind of my point is on Sunday, the previous 20 weeks of the season mean nothing. And what matters is what happens in the game. And I hope, Diggity, that when the Niners win on Sunday, we see you on Monday, because that's how you get in the Hall of Fame on the Red Option podcast.
Doubt it.
But we'll see what happens.
Doubt it.
I'm excited for this game, man. I'm excited. Thank you for the
No,
donation.
man, look. It's Friday. It's 9:45 on the East Coast. We're done. We talked about this game in the respectful ways, every single way that this game is gonna go. Now, this is it, man. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of everybody like all of a sudden just acting like this game is over. I'm tired of the national media telling you that the 49ers shouldn't even show up to this game. I'm tired of people telling me about how the 49ers almost lost to this team and who they lost to, and our team had a backup quarterback. The 49ers have 17 weeks with a backup quarterback. Do you know what that speaks to? And this is why you should be afraid, Philadelphia Eagles, is the 49ers roster is better. And now you should be worried. You should be worried because the 49ers are on their third quarterback. You should be worried more than the 49ers should be because right now it's house money. It is house money. And now we are walking into a place where nobody's giving us a chance. Mm-hmm. And I love that because Kyle Shanahan spoke to it in a press conference. I hate when everyone talks about us as the winner. Our team responds better when they're underdogs. Guess what? You got what you fucking asked for. You got what you asked for. I'm tired of this. I am tired of this, bro. I'm tired of everybody talking about, oh my God, you almost lost to this team. Well, the Cowboys put 40 points on you. That team could barely move the ball. They had 12 points. You lost to the New Orleans Saints with Andy Dalton. And your backup quarterback played? Cool. Jimmy Garoppolo was the 49ers backup quarterback. He played, and they won. You know what that speaks to? Sounds to me like you can't win games without your starting quarterback. Cannot relate. I'm tired of this shit, Andrew. I'm tired of it.
I think you may have just seen history on the Sprint Right Option podcast too, because I think we unlocked a new level of spicy Aponte because I've never heard him call anybody blood. That was pretty. I felt like I was watching Tom Brady in his prime once again. Joe Montana.
But you watch footy, right?
I watch footy. I love footy. Good.
So
big
footy.
Guy.
All right. So who's that guy that does Barstool footy?
Troops, the Arsenal guy,
yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yes.
So when I say blood,
I love him.
Blood is BLUD, and that's their that is their signature thing, right? Like like remember. All right. So when they who did USA lose to? In the
Netherlands.
Okay, so he did the live stream with them, and they scored the one goal.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Oh shit, I'm dancing on their graves. And he's like, "I'll be in the Netherlands, blood." He was like, "I told you, blood, no chance, blood, no chance." Like, and again, when I say blood, it is something that I'm adding into my vernacular, and it's something.
According to
Eric, ain't nobody in my feelings. It's okay to just say you got fried. Cool.
According to Urban Dictionary, blood, mainly used in the UK, blood comes from brethren, which means brother or blood brother. So there you go. You learning something here on this.
And look what Paul said. The blood thing is a stupid London slang. Yep.
I'm not going to mention the game on Sunday, Manchester United versus Arsenal. So Paul might be a little grumpy about London right now, but hey, that's okay. We love Paul.
PNB Jeff, out. My hands are here. Okay. If I want to put you in timeout, I have to go and do this. So you see my hands doing it.
We promise. I think I'm not
doing anything. I'm not putting anyone in timeout. I'm not doing anything. Sounds like you got modded, and that don't have nothing to do with me, blood.
Yeah. No, listen. The only people we really block here are the porn bots. I'm surprised we haven't.
Oh, well. And look, you got blocked. You got blocked by mods. That's your business. That's your business. Also, you were blocked, but you still got to watch me get my points off and get my shit off, and I still cooked you. So whether you were blocked or not, you got cooked. You gave up 40 to the Cowboys. You lost to the New Orleans Saints. Does Jalen Hurts or Gardner Minshew play defense? Why can't you stop Andy Dalton? And why can't you score more
Andrew
points?
Dalton, please, Andrew Dalton.
Andrew Dalton. Yeah. Why can't you stop any of them? Is that my fault? So y'all got blocked. Y'all got fried. It's okay. It's okay, man. You came for the smoke. You thought I wasn't about it. You didn't know. Now you know. And you won't be here when we do the Sunday post-game show. You won't be here. You won't pull up.
But the funny thing is too is even if the Niners do lose this game, we'll be here Monday talking about it. So
And
We'll be here regardless.
and the 49ers lost to the Bears. The Bears have the first pick in the draft, and the 49ers
Dog,
are going to Glendale in 2 weeks. I don't
the
give a
Bears
fuck.
beat the Niners 7 years ago in football time. Listen, again, it goes both ways with what the Eagles have done and the Niners have done. It doesn't change the matter of the fact that these are the two best teams in the NFC, regardless of who they almost lost to or who they lost to. These are the two best teams in the NFC.
Jimmy G is a backup, mint diggity. Jimmy G is literally the definition of a backup quarterback. There was a guy who started and who was starting the season. His name was Trey Lance.
Yes.
He got injured, and the person who relieved him was Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mhm.
When Jimmy Garoppolo went down, Brock Purdy had to play. I'm not sure if you understand depth charts, but Jimmy Garoppolo is a backup.
Yeah.
Just because he's a starting quarterback in the NFL, which I believe he is, doesn't diminish the fact that he's a backup. He's a backup. And Ken, hi, Jason. I remember hearing stats pick the Eagles to win 28-21. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Hey,
that's
what
fine.
we like about stats, though, is he tells you what his opinion is. He's not.
That's fine. And he said he'd love to be wrong. I chose differently on the show. Jimmy G trash. So is Lance. Eric, you're not gonna be back. And this is gonna be the best part. It's you. It's those Cowboys fans. It's those you're not gonna be back next week. You're not gonna pull back up next week. And you're not going to come here and say, damn, you know what? Jason was right. Damn, my team wasn't as good. I have a job to do. So win or lose on Sunday, I have to be on here.
Yeah, we'll be here.
You are not held to that responsibility. So when you disappear, I'm not going to be mad at it. I just know it's coming. So don't do that. And you know what? And if you are going to be a man and you pull up, if you are going to be men and pull back up after the Eagles lose, then you get anointed into the Hall of Fame. Tell them what the Hall of Fame is, Andrew.
Yeah, listen, Mint and Eric, you're not the first people to come in and talk crap about the Niners. We have Don Bird, Jim Everett, marketing. I haven't seen Marketing Pro in a hot minute. But when the Niners inevitably beat them, those guys came back on the following Monday, said, hey, I was wrong. And that's how you get in the Hall of Fame. Listen, we talk shit. As we said, we'll be here Monday.
We have to be here.
Win or lose, we will be here. What I hope is you give us the respect with how much crap you're talking. And this is football. This is the fun part of it, is the smack talk. We hope you give us the respect that when the Niners win on Sunday, you come back, say you're wrong. It's okay. We'll even do a Hall of Fame ceremony for you guys on Monday because we promise you that no matter what, if the Eagles beat the Niners on Sunday, we will be here to say we were wrong, and you guys can say what you need to say on Monday as well. So we'll play both way. I know. Jason Aponte is Spicy Aponte. That's what the brand is of this podcast, is what people come to see. He is talking shit, but the first people who will admit they were wrong about the game if the Niners lose,
it'll be us
on the Sprint Right Option podcast. Absolutely.
So if the 49ers somehow lose this game, which I don't envision them doing, it's not like I can just say, well, I'm packing everything up and I'm not going to talk about the game. I have a job to do. Yeah. And what I will do, if that does happen, is say, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. They were the better team. Will you be able to do that? Can you do that? My job is to be able to do that. And I will do that because I'm a stand-up guy. I don't duck the smoke. I don't ever duck the smoke. I pop shit because I will not be going anywhere. Will you duck the smoke? Will you not be here when you're in your fucking Fly Eagles Fly towel crying into it because you hyped yourself up into this game and thinking that you were going to win? That's it. If you can't back what you're saying up, then that's it. I will be here. No, you won't be here. All these people saying that they will be here. All of these people saying that they will be here. They won't be here. They won't be here. They will not be here.
Can we even bridge the gap right now and say something positive about Philadelphia? Not the Eagles, just something positive about
I love
Philadelphia as a whole. Yeah. Let's bridge the gap. We'll work with you, Eric and Mint. I'll say something positive. One of the greatest moments in Philadelphia history is, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Like, that's an all-time Philadelphia moment.
First of all,
I'm going to say something positive about Philadelphia right
First of all, Dreams and Nightmares is the greatest hip-hop intro in the history of hip-hop. Unquestioned.
Yes.
Unquestioned. Okay. Philadelphia. I have been there many times. And it hasn't been for Philadelphia. I live close enough to Philadelphia that it's not, it's a stone's throw for me, basically. They have the beautiful Mitchell and Ness store there, which, my goodness, man, I implore anybody, if you're going to be in Philly this weekend, go to the Mitchell and Ness store and drop some coin, because they have 4 sections. It's MLB, NHL, NFL, and NBA. And, in the actual NFL section, I'm sure it's more Eagles now, right? Because it's Mitchell and Ness. But it's usually just like Eagles, Packers, Niners, Cowboys, Steelers, like the franchise, the legacy teams. I love Philadelphia.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite towns. I love Philadelphia. I actually have no problem with Philadelphia. You know what's my problem with Philadelphia? Y'all are in the way. Y'all are in the way. That is it. That is it. That's it.
Listen, this is what this podcast is. We have the ultimate. If you thought this was bad, you should have seen us talking about the Cowboys and the Seahawks. And Eric, you make a point. We all agree here. Niners, Eagle, like verbal meme handshake. Niners, Eagle fans. Fuck the Cowboys. Boom. Look at that. We're finding.
Y'all just in the way. This isn't personal.
You know what else is great about Philadelphia is they're home to the best baseball player in the world, Bryce Harper. We love that. A lot of great things about Philadelphia. Listen, as we said, Monday we will be back. There we go. Look at that. We're already winning Eric over.
Look again. This is how you earn yourself into the 49ers.
Exactly.
Our podcast. Look again. As much shit as I talk, I still have to get in front of this camera if the 49ers lose and give credit to the Eagles and talk about why the Eagles were better on that day. That is something that is not going to not happen. I cannot just pack my shit up and go. But I am confident in my team. I do love Philadelphia. I love the Eagles. I love Meek Mill. I love cheesesteaks. I think Rocky is one of the best sports movies of all time. Yeah. You're just in the way. You're in the way. This isn't personal. We all hate Dallas. That's personal. We hate Seattle. That's personal. Even the New York Giants. That's personal. That shit is not the same thing right now. So again, we have no problem with you. This is a 1-week thing. This is where we're at. Yeah. We are just tired of being talked about as a team that has no chance. Meanwhile, we have the best defense in the league. We have won so many games in a row. We haven't lost since October 23rd. So, reminder, we're talking. That's it. We're talking. But you're just in the way. Yeah. It's not personal. Like the Dallas thing, we're still taking shots at Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
If we do what I think they're going to do, we'll talk about it 1 or 2 days, but we're not going to continue to take shots at the Eagles. Yeah. We hate Dallas. No. We don't hate y'all. Y'all just in the way. Y'all just in the way. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want to go back to I lost it here. Mint Diggity never said I didn't respect the Niners, but I think my team's going to be a little better on Sunday.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. And that's what we think about the 49ers. Yeah, exactly. So listen, I know Jason gets spicy. We get a little spicy. We have fun with the conversation. It's never personal. We're enjoying the conversation.
No.
And listen, either way, no matter how Sunday goes, Eric, I hope we see
we'll be here. We'll be here. And come back. And you know what? And come back and give it to us. Come back and yo, Jason said this, Andrew said this. Come back and give it to us. I don't care, man. Yeah. This is the problem. Is the Dallas Cowboys fans were here all week. Mm-hmm. All of them.
They're not here.
All of them. They have been, I want to put them on the back of a milk carton. I want to put them on a missing poster. They are not here. Mm-hmm. If your team finds a way to get it done, then come and gloat. You deserve it. It's the NFL. Games are hard. This is a hard game to win. You deserve to gloat. I'm not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. Andrew Pasquini is not going anywhere. We're not a part-time podcast. No. We have to do this.
We've been doing this twice a week for 3 years now.
So come back and give it to us. Come back and give it to us.
Because odds are, especially too, if the Eagles win, we'll probably agree with some of the things you say on Monday. Because that's probably what happened.
And I give the smoke, but I don't duck the smoke. And anybody who knows me on Twitter or on YouTube, that's not how I live my life.
And I'm going to give Jason Aponte a ton of credit here too, because I say I'll be here Monday, but Sunday, the second the game, and Jason Aponte will be right here, win or lose. He will be post game.
I got him.
And I'll try and join. We'll see where I'm at. I might be a little too stoned, but that's okay. That's okay, Jason Aponte, because it's California and we can do that. But it comes down to we'll be here either way. And honestly, as much pushback that we've given the two Eagle fans here, we hope you're back later.
You know what's the best part?
Because it's fun.
You know what's the best part? If this game doesn't go the way that we think it does.
Oh, if the Niners get blown out, oh my
No,
God.
no, not that. If the Philadelphia Eagles win, right? The Philadelphia Eagle fans that are here, even though we've been popping shit, they're also going to come in here and say, damn, respect to the 49ers. They played a hell of a game. They, you know what? Like it's so funny how shit's about to like completely switch. And you can pop your shit and just be like, aha, you're going home, whatever, cool, we can do that. And I'll have to transition to going to the Senior Bowl and draft season and all that stuff. Like I'll have to do all that. But it's gonna be funny when if the Eagles win, how quickly they'll pivot to, you know what, the 49ers were really good in this game. Nothing but respect. You guys played a hell of a game, especially with this guy. That's what it will be. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be the funniest part.
I'm so excited for this game on Sunday, man.
Yeah. And you know what? Again, I can't ask for a better matchup, man. I really can't. Like, number one, number two, these are the two best teams in the NFC. This is the reason that they were ranked so, with records. Obviously, the 49ers won a bunch of games later on. But at the same time, man, this is what it's all about, is trying to figure out, if the 49ers want to move on to Glendale, then they've got to do the hardest thing that they've ever had to do, go on the road, beat a team that is equally stacked, has as much firepower, has been playing so well, and then move on that way. So for me, I love this, man. I do. I love this.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we do it. We're here to talk to fans, and one of my favorite things was when opposing team fans come in and talk smack. That's how we got Don Burr. That's how we got Marketing Pro, and that's how we got
Jim Everett and all those guys.
We consider Hall of Famers of the Sprint Right Option podcast. Yeah. We love those guys to death, and I like to think that they love us because they're coming to join.
Gunna's here. Hey, Gunna, why did you do that to Young Thug? Yeah, free Young Thug. Young Thug's music is better.
Who's Metro booming again?
What, Andrew? All right, you know what? This is it. I think we're done. I think we're done with it. We're done with after. Oh my goodness, JM16 gonna push and plea. I'm tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all.
Man, I love this. I love this. I listen, so much fun.
One more thing before we go. All the banter's fun. Never personal, any of that. Again, pull up after the game. It's all good. I can be passionate about my team. You should be passionate about yours. You should expect your team to win. I expect my team to win. This is as evenly matched as it is. So this is going to be the best game of the weekend, I think. I think that the Bengals-Chiefs game is actually going to end with a wider margin than this game. It's almost like Spider-Man pointing me, the Eagles, the Niners. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 plays. Who's going to make them? And I it's Friday, 10 o'clock. I'm just tired of talking about it. So I love it. Again, no matter how this game goes, I have no problem with Philadelphia. My favorite basketball player is Allen Iverson. And as long as the Philadelphia Phillies don't face my New York Yankees in the World Series, I'm good with them as well, because you know what the Philadelphia Phillies do? The Philadelphia Phillies. Do you know what the Philadelphia Phillies do? They knock off the New York Mets. I think that's
exactly. There you go. We love it. See, I should have showed this earlier. I got my Philadelphia Bryce Harper one. So we like Philadelphia here on the Sprint Right Option podcast. It's just,
Allen Iverson's my favorite basketball player of all time. I have 3 Allen Iverson jerseys. I do not play that. And Terrell Owens, my favorite wide receiver that's on his shirt, besides Jerry Rice, played for the Philadelphia Eagles and deserves a statue before Nick Foles does, because what he did in the Super Bowl is probably more heroic than Nick Foles did.
Yep. The only issue Jason Aponte and I have right now with the Philadelphia Eagles is they're the next team.
You're in the way. That's it. You're in the way.
So, hey, this was an all-time Sprint Right Option podcast. So I'm just going to throw it out there. You remember when we had Brad Graham on?
I do, man. And that was almost 2 hours ago.
was almost 2 hours ago. We're vibing here on this Fair Ride Option podcast. Hey, a lot of new names. I'll
Shout
end
out
it
to
with
y'all,
a
man.
plug.
Look, no matter what happens, man, the Eagles are a great team. They deserve to be in this position, and whatever happens. Pull up, talk shit, give me all the everything after the game if that's what happens. But Niners 23-20. You heard it here first.
Yep. 24-17, I think I said. In case you're wondering how much stock I hold in my predictions, I don't even remember the score I said.
Well, all you need to remember is that the Niners win.
Niners win. Yes. Hey, listen, I'm just going to close with a quick plug. We have 275 people still here. If you've never watched this podcast, please subscribe. Please like this video. We got 186 likes right now on this episode. If you decide you liked us and you don't have a chance to watch us every time we go live, you can find us anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all that. And if you don't like our voices, you can see what Jason and I have to write at NinersNation.com. Don't know if you guys heard Jason and I write for NinersNation.com. Listen, we appreciate each and every one of you. I know this was a situation the Niners were in last year with the NFC Championship game. You never know how these games go. I hope on hope, man, that this is not the last game preview we have this season. I hope there's at least one more. But man, I appreciate each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you that are here. Jason, most importantly, I love you.
I love the 49ers, and I love Andrew.
I love the 49ers.
And this 49ers season, no matter how this ends, and I don't think it's going to end on Sunday.
No.
This will be a memorable season. And the 49ers, 3 years out of 4 have been to the NFC Championship game, 6 out of 12, which is completely insane.
Last 6 playoff appearances have gone to the NFC Championship game. That's an insane stat when you think that the Cowboys haven't even made a championship game in 27 years. You see how we do that, guys? See how we do that?
Yeah, keep cooking them. 2 out of 3 years that the Sprint Red Option podcast has been up has at least ended in the NFC Championship game. So just all those things, everything. Shout out to the Eagles fans. Appreciate you. Make sure you pull up after the game, no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, I'm going to be here. And then Monday, we will have to do, the review of whatever transpires, 49ers victory off the leg of Robbie Gould, who's my favorite player of all time. And kickers absolutely matter.
We've
Gould,
never hated special teams.
Robbie Gould and kickers are absolutely the crux of a winning football team. So
we specialty the third. There's 3 facets to football games: offense, defense, and special team. You gotta respect it. You gotta respect it. The only time we don't like Robbie Gould is when he misses field goals against the Bengals and the Raiders. Other than that, we love Robbie Gould. We love Robbie Gould so much. But
my favorite player of all time. I have a Robbie Gould jersey on the way.
Perfect. Hey, Jason Aponte, we're gonna get out of here. We love each and every one of you. Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. Enjoy the game. We'll see you back when previewing Glendale. Super Bowl.
Hey, we'll see you guys on Monday.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's